Let the mob go to the Cardinals. He will stand tall so K1 can go and he can ball. Let the mob go to the Cardinals at pick 4. Marv. Let's go! Welcome in the Fantasy BS Show. Today is April 24th. You guessed it. We got Bond Night. We don't even care about fantasy football tonight. We're rocking out. We got your boy, Smitty Satow over here, Mr. Carl Smith. We got your boy, Brian, The Arms 2020. Like I always said, you can call me whatever you want, but for this episode, you're going to call me Bond. Brian Bond. Smitty, what's up, man? Let's do it. How'd you like the intro, dude? It was Skyfall.
Dude, that rocked. Oh my god. I enjoy these intros so much more than y'all actually think. Like, this is fantastic. I'm having a great time, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. You know, when we decided to make up our own lyrics to stupid songs, I gotta tell you, man, I never thought I would try to attack an Adele song, but man, if we're not making idiots out of ourselves to make people laugh, what the hell is the point? But I'm telling you, Smitty, that is now every intro I've done this offseason has been about Marv Harrison somehow going to the Cardinals. But let Marv go, baby. Come on. I don't think you understand how stressed out I will be until Marvin Harrison ends up on the Cardinals. And if we trade that pick, I'm probably going to go off air tomorrow on the Zoom and just like chill out a little bit until because, dude, I can't have them trade these picks, dude. Like, do you think they're going to trade this pick? Because I really, truly believe we trade out of the 4.
So the reports I've been hearing, the Cardinals have been asking for a hefty price. And when a dynasty manager asks for a hefty price, I look at them, I step back, and I say, hey, if somebody's willing to pay, let them do it because it will not be me. I mean, I think I've heard the number 3 first. I mean, listen, if you get 3 first, that is incredibly worth it. So shout out to the team that wants to do that. And by the way, yeah, that's actually very fair because you can get a top 4 quarterback. So, if somebody's willing to pay that, you should totally be okay with it. I hate to say it.
The problem is
That's
I actually think our GM is running our team like a fantasy football team. Like, I really believe he loves dynasty football. And there's no way he's a process player. Someone's going to be like, hey, here's 3 firsts for your 104. And I would slam accept that, dude. Like, it's not even a question. So I think he takes it. It's just a question of who's going to come down. If Minnesota comes down and get this pick from us, I think we get 3 firsts. I know they've been talking a lot about the Giants coming down 2 picks and maybe we get a second and a third out of it. But either which way, man, just slam pick it. Like, man, when Larry Fitzgerald was an Arizona Cardinal, life was good. Honestly, we didn't even care about wins and losses. It was like watching that man like become the best in the top 3 best wide receivers to ever play. Like, that we could get this out of Marv. Let's just do it again. Let's see what we got. So, how are you feeling about your Rams? I know we were talking about this off air, but how do you feel about them?
All right, so this is usually when I watch the first day of the NFL draft, it's strictly from a fantasy lens. I'm just saying, okay, who got what can I do? Because the Rams typically don't have a first rounder. Now that we do, things are exciting. And the greatest thing is well, not greatest, I guess the issue really is that we can go a number of directions. So one of the guys that did their most recent mock said, look, it's Sean McVay's very first round pick, something like that. I don't know if that's true. It might be.
I think it
but
is.
If that's the case, they said, hey, he's going to want to draft an offensive player. And with that being the case, I'm like, oh, okay. Whatever he does, I'm super okay with it because, he knows where to find talent. Now, there's also other people saying, look, y'all lost Aaron Donald. I think it's very smart for you guys to replace him with one of the top defensive linemen. And the name Johnny Newton has been connected with us a lot. And because of all these mocks, I've been looking into his game, and I'm very excited if we end up doing that. So whether we get an offensive player, whether it be a receiver or an O-lineman, or if we get a defensive player, I'm happy with all those options. But the latest thing I've seen today is exactly what you're worried about. The latest thing I've seen today is us trading that pick away and busting it down, which will just make it another year of us just not having a first round pick. But I can't be too mad. I can't be too mad. So I'm overall excited for how the draft's going to go for us. But if we make a first round pick, that's historic.
So if this
Just
was a
because-
fantasy trade, are you would you take a 2025 first and a 2024 second to trade out of the 19?
Dude, a 20, yeah, I would. Yeah, I would. I would, because then that means we have two firsts. We have two firsts in 2025. Yeah, I'm feeling that because I kind of like this team as is. And then plus, our needs are surprisingly deep, or like surprisingly deep in the draft, or like defensively, a lot of them are getting pushed down for all the top offensive picks. Like, yeah, actually, 100%. If that deal was offered to the Rams, I would say, please accept that.
Yep.
I would yell it. I would yell it.
Yeah. No, but our teams are in different places right now, so it's all about what's going to make something more exciting to me for the Cardinals right now. But your offense is ready to take on a Super Bowl run. They probably need to smash a defensive player because you guys are like that. That's where your holes are, right? What's your biggest hole?
Oh, you know what? It used to be corner until we made all these free agency signings. And honestly, it used to be offensive line. Dude, we did all right in the free agency. Like, I mean, I'm actually really proud of how we handled free agency. Could have been better, of course. So, defense is the biggest one, especially the line, the defensive line. You know, losing AD is a massive loss. I mean, we have to ask a lot of people to step up, which is when we ask a lot of people to step up in the, you know, back there where the corners and shit are. I mean, and stuff are. They still left a lot to be desired. So I don't know. The biggest hole is defense for sure, but and then tight end as well. I mean, God, you know, there's a handful of holes, but whatever they decide to fix, they know better than me, and I'm just gonna let them. I'm gonna let them do them, and Snead I trust.
Okay. So outside of the Cardinals, outside of the Rams, what is the pick you're staring down the most right now as to what they're going to do? Which one
Okay.
is one of the quarterbacks at the top end? Is it like the mid rounds with Bowers and like late, 107, 6, Rome? Like what is the pick that you're really waiting for?
The number one pick that I sincerely need to happen, that I really will, it might ruin my entire evening on draft night, if the Jets do not pick a freaking offensive lineman with their 10th overall pick. I understand the attractiveness of the offensive weapons. I totally get it. I totally get it. And you know what? If that matters so much, please trade down and get the offensive player later. Because, like I said, deep class. But I need them to protect Rodgers because I cannot have another 4-play highlight reel because that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And honestly, like, Garrett Wilson agrees. Brees Hall agrees. Every single Jet fans agrees. That was terrible. Like that. I need them to protect Rodgers. That's a serious player in their building, and he needs to ball out.
Fool me once, that's okay. Fool me twice, I'm an idiot for not protecting Aaron Rodgers again. I mean,
At this point, yeah, you're right, absolutely.
I just remember last year watching Hard Knocks and, oh man, their coach's name, I just can't think of it right now.
Robert Silla?
Yes.
Okay,
You
yeah.
know what? I remember when Aaron Rodgers was throwing those little fade passes to the end zone. He's just touching, fist pounding everyone. He's like, "How good does it feel to have a quarterback?" And like they're just so excited. It was like, and then watching his face, obviously being an old 49er, when Aaron Rodgers got hurt, I'm like, that's what you get, karma, man. You don't talk about it. You don't talk about it, man. When you got a quarterback, you never say a word. When you don't have a quarterback, all you do is talk about needing one. That's the way I look at it. But for me, that pick I'm looking at is there's two.
Okay.
What are the New England Patriots going to do in the 3, and what is Minnesota going to do? So that's the biggest that's where I'm at fantasy wise, because we got some studs that need a quarterback in Minnesota, but I still don't want anybody fantasy relevant to really go to the Patriots. So, but the coolest thing that I don't think will happen that I really want to see, Smitty, I want to see Jaden Daniels go to Chicago Bears in the 1. That would just be outrageous.
Dude.
Or the
So,
Bears trade back to the 2. So someone come up and get Caleb, and they can get a second or a future first in JD instead of Caleb. I would love to see just a ridiculous fantasy trade like that happen at the top end of the draft.
dude, that is exactly what the Bears should be doing. Wow, that never crossed my mind. Okay, so the Bears have been doing a lot of guys. The pick is Caleb Williams. We're going to make sure Caleb Williams feels special, feel at home. We're going to make sure that we all paint his nails the way he does. We're going to make sure he feels great and happy. Now, that is honestly a poor idea because if they can get liquidity for that number 1 pick, they're going to have a Super Bowl winning team in year 1. Like, I mean, not year 1, obviously, but like, after getting all these, like, they can do some damage in 2024 is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's a fantastic idea. I just wish they didn't plant their heels so deep into Caleb.
Yeah, so Caleb only did 1 visit, and it was the Bears. That was the only visit he did. But their GM this week was talking some smack a little bit. I saw an article, and they're like, "Who are you going to pick?" He's like, "You should really tune in to find out." It's like, we know who you're picking. We know who you're picking. Get out of here. It's going to happen. Because the only reason I don't think they would do that to trade back and get JD is there's a very big fear of Justin Fields 2.0 and a running quarterback when you got a passing quarterback. And can you imagine how pissed off that they have been having a quarterback that can't throw the football for a few years? I mean, that just sucks. And then they got nothing out of him. But let's talk before we get into the segment where I need help from you big time. Let's talk about the mediocre trade of the week. Zach Wilson gets traded. It was for the minimum pick you could possibly trade because I didn't even know the NFL actually has like rules around things. But what was it, a 6th and 7th pick swap for Zach Wilson to get traded to Denver?
Oh, they did the Rams special. I hate this. I hate this type of trade so much. It's like, oh my god, they're really tearing down just to get this guy out of here. Great. So I'm just glad that I don't have to see the Rams do it. Yeah, look, this is fantastic for literally nobody. You're right. Mediocre pick of the signing of the week. Mediocre trade of the week, rather.
You know what I hope? I hope he's actually the starter, and Sean Payton gets to deal with him, and then sits back and actually says, "Man, I wish I still had Russ." And we know how I feel about Russ. That's how bad Zach Wilson is.
I hear you, but no, I don't think. I mean, okay, let's be honest. What Zach Wilson had to endure in the 2023 as a Jet, I don't think a lot of people can handle. Just a lot of scrutiny, a lot of disgust. And then, like you said, Hard Knocks hyped a lot of people up for that team, including me. I thought they were going to win the Super Bowl. I genuinely would have put money on it if I could have. So, the fact that he, we love the Jets, and now he has to genuinely step up and be the guy and just fail week after week. I mean, the guy had to endure a lot. And I genuinely think with that being the case, Sean Payton is going to be so much worse to deal with than all that scrutiny as a Jet. So why am I actually worried about Zach Wilson's mental health? Because now I'm actually very worried for the game.
I mean, what's the other answer? Is it Jarrett Stidham there? That's who's there, right?
Yeah. And that's like, I mean, okay, so let's look at this angle. So they don't get to get any of they get like Bo Nix's worst case scenario. That's solid because Bo Nix will win that situation. But if they don't even get Bo Nix and they just can't, and people just hate them, they don't want to trade with them, they hate Sean Payton, and they don't get any quarterback and they have to sit with Zach, I think that is if I was a Broncos fan, I would leave. I would just say, okay, this is a year where I'm rooting for the Chiefs and then I'll come back later. Because that's unfortunate. Zach might retire.
Yeah, he just might. But my favorite thing I've watched in a very long time was NFL Live this week. And they broke down Zach Wilson for like 10 minutes. And all they did was show every single bad throw that he's had as a quarterback. And these are atrocious. I mean, the misses that this guy has had is horrific. He cannot throw the football. He's going to be out of the NFL really quick. He's not even a backup quarterback. But you know what?
Oh,
We can't talk about Zach Wilson. He just grabbed way too much time on this podcast. Let's get into some just some ideas. I need help. We got rookie drafts coming up. We got the draft happening tomorrow. What am I doing? I got liquidity everywhere. You know me. You know how I build my teams. I got two teams that really doesn't have a lot of liquidity. The rest of them, I got at least 2 to 3 first-round picks with how I've built most of my teams.
love that.
Smitty, what the hell am I doing? I'm always talking about it's not about really making these picks, and it's what you can do with these picks sometimes. I feel pretty confident in the 101 to the 104s right now, where I think I'm slamming those picks. But let's talk about the 106, 7, 8, and 9. What vets are you buying with these picks right now? I mean, like, what can you go get? Because if we're talking about the 6, 3 players are going to come to mind at the 6. And I don't know where all these are going to get drafted, but let's just say Drake May, Brock Bowers, Roma Doomsday. I do. One of those players is there at the 6. It's going to be interesting to see if Drake May's there at the 6 when we get done with the NFL draft. But what vet would you go buy instead of taking a chance on one of those 3? Because I think if Drake May's there at the 6, I'm probably picking it. But what vet are you trying to go get opposed to Roma Doomsday right now?
Oh, opposed to Roma Dunze.
Dude, the 6 is a valuable pick this year.
Yeah, for real, which is so cool. You know what? I really do like Rome a lot, and I've really been thinking about. I think it was last week or sometime recently. You said, "Hey, man, he might end up as a New York Giant," and if that's the case, I'm slightly out. And I'm like, oh no, he could be the face of the Giants. He will be just everything they want. But I've really, really, really soured on the idea of Daniel Jones or Drew Lock being his QB1. So I guess the new question is, do you want to compete? Do you want to contend? Because I honestly think if you are willing to like kick the bucket at least another year, you have to pick Drake May. I love him.
Yeah.
I adore him as a rebuilding quarterback. You have to give Romo Duse. I adore him as a rebuilding receiver. And if Brock Bowers is in the picture, I adore him as a rebuilding tight end. So if you're rebuilding, I highly suggest you make the pick. If you are trying to compete,
Yeah, let's focus on the competing because the majority of these teams that I have these picks on are teams that I am going for it this year. And I have a viewpoint right now, Smitty, of using the 106 and the 107-ish to tier up somewhere else. That's where I have my viewpoint right now. So let me ask you this question better. So let's say we're tiering up. What can I go get if I want to take the 106 and Michael Pittman?
Oh my god, really? Oh, yeah, dude. Say hi to Chase for me. You can
Think I can
you
get
could
there?
totally talk about Chase. You could totally talk about Jefferson. You could totally, dude. You could totally smash CD if that's what you're interested in. The 106 and Pittman. I would be so happy to have that. But here's the thing: you're definitely tearing up to a god, so that's great. Oh, speaking of the man of the hour, the man who got paid today. Amon-Ra St. Brown? I mean, well, you know what? Okay, I gotta be honest. I do like the idea that Amon-Ra is still slept on. So maybe not pay that much. But if you can't get a deal done for Chase plus, and then when I say plus, I mean like plus a third or get some type of, just some type of, yeah, I'm gonna say a third round value type of player. If you can't get the Chase, if you can't get the 102 for Christ's sake. If you can't get the big 3, big 4 receivers, then yeah, I would definitely try some Puka. I would definitely try some Amon-Ra. I think I love that idea because I mean, how can you? Okay, I have Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? And I have Jamar Chase, right? And you said me the 106 and Pittman. I understand. Pittman is who he is, and he's solidified, and his quarterback is who he is, and maybe he steps up with throwing. But that 106 could be Odunze. So I understand I'm getting 2 assets that are not gorgeous, but have real potential if if the quarterbacks step up. I'm okay with that 2 for 1. I am. And at the same time, sorry if I drew that out. And at the same time, if I was to send that out to acquire Chase, to acquire CDs, I'd be very happy as well.
Okay, so Pittman range and the
Pittman,
106 can possibly get me to one of the gods.
I mean, honestly, that, yeah. If someone sent that offer out for your CD Lamb, would you take that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I probably would take that, but I'm going to break it down and try to get a third out of it, a throw-in running back that I might need. Like, I'm going to try to bust
Ooh,
it somehow that way. But let's
I
talk
love that.
quarterbacks at a 106, and I think we could talk 106, 107 on this. So let's say
Okay.
106, 107, and Joe Burrow. Can that get me to Josh Allen and something else, no matter what it is? Let's say it doesn't even matter. It can be a worthless piece, or it can be a David Montgomery. It could be Zach Moss. It could be something stupid like that. I mean, is that going to get me there?
My answer is absolutely not.
I think so too, dude.
But for Mahomes, maybe. No, you know what? No, for both of them, no. And honestly, I would even say that may not even be enough for Hurts. But honestly, though, if you want to start that type of trade off with Hurts, see what happens with that because we all are kind of skeptical of that tush push. We are skeptical that that was a Jason Kelsey special. So I would definitely start there. No, obviously start to the top, but I would, with that type of package, if you're really trying to shoot for the moons, the lowest I would go is Jalen Hurts. Yeah, but if I had Allen, you would have to throw in another first. And honestly, being very honest, it could be a first from 2005 and 25.
Yeah, I don't think I would do that in an extra first. I think the leverage trade's too much. I would have to have something valuable back. But the reality is the 6 or 7 plus, let's say, a top 10 quarterback has the possibility of getting me in that range. And then you can
Okay,
just
so
figure
like
out the
Jordan
ancillary
Love.
pieces to make it happen.
Okay, so like the 106 and Love for Allen.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah, honestly, I don't know how many people build, but when I find myself, and this is honestly just me being very like, this is probably something I should improve on. I find myself in depth needy teams almost consistently. Just that is a big issue that I have as a personal dynasty manager. I have issues with depth around the world. With that being the case, I would be happy to bust down my Josh Allen for Jordan Love, who I'm excited for it in the future, and the 106, who could be another quarterback in May. Which, if I'm getting rid of Allen, I know I'm rebuilding. So like I said, I love May for the rebuild, or it could be Romo Dunze, who I mean honestly is a fantastic receiver. So I would do it, but at the end of the day, I would want more. I would want more, but if it can't be pulled out, I might accept it.
So the 6 and the 7 can get you into a god at any position, possibly.
Yeah, but you have to pair it with a god in training, you know.
Okay. So let's talk about the 8 and the 9. I don't think the 8 and 9
Okay.
get you there, do they? I mean they can,
Ooh.
but now we're talking the 8 or 9 and Jalen Hurts to get to Patrick Mahomes. Like I mean,
Oh, if
maybe.
that's what we're talking about, I would do it. I would
Okay.
I would take it. I would accept either side of that.
Okay. So
I love that trade actually.
so here's some other ones that are going through my mind. Let's talk about a tier here of second year wide receivers. So let's go
Ooh.
Jordan Addison. Let's say they get a good QB. Let's say Jordan Addison. Let's say Zay Flowers. Let's say Puka's in his own fucking world right now. Um, yeah, let's just stick to Flowers and Addison. Flowers and Addison and the 108 and the 109 gets you where?
That's tough because Flowers, I mean, just when I think of Flowers, I think of him just mentally strengthening up to where he's going to be so much better in 2024 than he was in 2023. Meanwhile, Addison, I think he thinks he's great, so I think he's not going to have that extra push. Then, so with that being the case, Addison plus a 108, 109, that you can talk me into Debo. You can talk me into.
Oh, you're definitely taking that for Debo, dude. You're gonna take the 108 and the 109 straight up for Debo, I bet.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I'm going low. You're right. I'm going low. Let's look at oh God,
Let's say Sun God. I mean, that's a good
God, we
benchmark.
might
Let's talk
Sun God.
wide receiver 4, 5, 6 dynasty. Depending on these rookies. But can Jordan Addison and the 108 get you to Sun God?
Personally, with me, no, no. I value Sun God really high, so I think we have to go a little lower than that. And then, I mean, I'm telling you, if the Jets get Brock Bowers, then yeah, you can talk Garrett Wilson out of me. Like you really can. Like it's so unfortunate because I love him so much, but that's where yeah we can start having that talk.
So let's talk G Willie real quick. I was talking
Okay.
last week about, I don't know, I felt like Mel Kiper last week. I was kind of like going at it, but I was talking about how many top 24 wide receivers are there in every single year, and the answer is 24. And I was talking about these rookie that going into your second year wide receivers, possibly selling them. Is Garrett Wilson not like the ultimate? If you sold him before the beginning of last season, you're just not the happiest dude alive. Like these are the
Oof.
second year wide receivers that just things just happen, and all of a sudden, like, I mean, I don't even know where he's at keep trade cut, but I mean, is Garrett Wilson being drafted as a top 12 wide receiver in Dynasty right now? I mean, he's probably right on the borderline.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? And he might be on the borderline, if not below. I think you're absolutely right with that. I just think about his class. Like, there's also London and Olave. Olave is just. Why isn't there any conversations of them upgrading their quarterback? I'm sorry, I know that wasn't the conversation, but it's just I thought about the class. I'm just thinking about Olave, and I'm just. Oh, you can easily talk anyone out of Olave at this point. But
Chris Olave and the 110 for the Sun God.
boom, boom. You got it. You got it.
But I think
You
that's a
got it.
line. I don't think
I
I
think that's
take the 111 and 112. I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not taking that trade for like the 111 and Olave for Sun God, right?
no,
Or
but
maybe I'd ask for a future second back, like, especially if I think it's going to be a bad team, it's going to be a high second. Like, all right, throw the second in there, and you're a crappy running back that you don't want.
right. But I like that range. The 8 to 9, 8 to 10,
Okay.
plus Olave, go up and get the Sun God. I think that's something I would take honestly.
Okay. Kyle Pitts in the 110 for Sam Laporta.
No, I mean, what I love about that trade is Kyle Pitts stock is back on up, baby. But the 110, because now we're looking at like lads who might be a Panther. We're looking at Malik. Oh no, we're not. We're looking at AD Mitchell, who might be a Bengal, might be a Bill. I mean, I'm sorry. We're
Chief.
recording this right before the draft, so sorry if the content we don't know who's going where. But I don't know. It's just that the iffiness at that range of the first round, I, that won't work for me. I don't think so.
Jonathan Taylor in the
Oh,
110 for Jameer Gibbs. Do you do that? I accept that trade.
see now here's the thing. I'm just okay. I think you have the proper mindset when it comes to Gibbs. I think that's appropriate, but me personally, I just genuinely I look at his rookie year. I saw all the things he was able to accomplish while being essentially like on a leash. I don't even want to say held back, but I'm gonna say while being on a leash, he did phenomenal things. So with that being the case, I see his longevity and just not just longevity, but it's like productivity and longevity combined. He's gonna be a dog for a long time, and that is so crazy rare for a running back. So I think the world of Gibbs. I really do, and it's honestly just me just playing with his rookie year. So I think what you said is a little more appropriate because Jonathan Taylor, despite his quarterback being a vulture, and oh my gosh, there's like an interview going around of Jonathan Taylor saying, "Look, man, I want Average to win so big to where I mean, so to like have such a great success in this league to where he's willing to. I mean, obviously he has to block for him, but he's willing to do every little dirty thing, and not dirty thing, but like all the dirty work to make sure that Average is the dog he is." And with that being the case, that terrifies me as a Jonathan Taylor owner, but as a Colts fan, that's super exciting. Anyways, I think you made an appropriate. I think you made an appropriate suggestion, especially because running backs do not have long shelf life. So pick 10 in the first round is very appropriate. But then there's people like me who just think the world of Gibbs.
Okay. I think that gives us some good ideas of types of tiers, where you can go. But I've got one more for you.
Oh, okay.
The 110 and Drake London. Where does that get you?
Oh my God. Oh my
Does
God.
that
So I feel
get me
like
to a god? Does that get me to Sun God? I think that gets me to Sun God.
so. Here's the thing: if you have the 110 and Drake London, please give that a shot, because unfortunately, I do think the excitement of Kirk Cousins being on in Atlanta is starting to die down. We have accepted the super high the super high floor that I believed he had is now starting to come back to earth just because of, the hype is dying. The hype is dying is now a reality. We're all accepting that this could be a thing, but there's a real world where it isn't, and I think a lot of people are starting to live in that world where things are starting to normal out. So if there are people like me who are still very high on Drake London, and just the fact that he's 22, the fact that he's so young, yeah, if I had Drake London and a 110, please go after the Sun God. I love that idea.
I think I can find a way to get JJ out of that trade with the right owner. Not the 110, but
right
I know
owner,
I got to
yeah.
add into that. But I think that is the core those two pieces are the best pieces that will get me there. And we talked about this on the pod, is what if Drake London is just who he is? What if he can't make that leap? And you can literally sell him for the price you drafted him, and he has not really been that good for 3 years. So,
That is true.
I would take a proven god and look like a fool if Drake London ends up being one of the gods. But I would take a proven one. I would try to get that trade done. I do think it's specific to portfolio for me, where some places I want to make that trade, some haven't. And I've actually done that across with Drake London. I've bought him in places and sold him in places to get my risk and alignment. But I just had to hit you with the Drake
during
London.
this offseason?
Yeah, I love giving you the Drake. You've seen me get rid of him and buy him.
That's true. Oh man, his price is so. I guess it is normaling out, but there was a period where his price, I was even pushing up. I'm like, guys, do not sell. He is too great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
And you pulled
right,
it
guys.
off.
There's the best ideas we've got. You can kind of put names to the ranges of players in there. We can't go through them all, but let's jump into the back part of the segment we did last week, where we're breaking down buy low, sell high players of the division. And we'll get this one done a little quicker than last time. I think we took 45 minutes on 2 divisions last time, so we'll
Yes,
go a
I
little
just had
quicker.
too much
We're not going to
time.
make this a marathon tonight, guys. But so last week we did the NFC North and the NFC West. Tonight we're going to do the NFC South and the NFC West. Now, this is an NFC West podcast. This is what we do. Do we want to save that till the end, or do you want to start there, Smitty?
Oh, let's save it to the end. Save it to
All
the
right.
end.
Because this is the South is a very interesting one to break down. We just talked about the Falcon or Drake London, so we've started that conversation with the Falcons. Now, if anyone is listening to our podcast, go back a couple ones. We're talking about trades and all this stuff, but we gave you some good ideas with Drake London. Like there's places, if you're a portfolio manager, you got to sell him. We just talked about that, but you've got an idea of what you can go buy him for and what you can sell him for the last we talked about. But let's talk about the other players. Who are you going to buy and sell on the Falcons? Because they seem dirty expensive, dude.
Yeah, honestly, yes, they do. In fact, if I'm being very honest with you, Pratt. Yeah, I'm gonna hate saying this, but here we go. Every single player on the Atlanta Falcons is a sell. A sell.
Except one.
Say it. I can't say it. All of them. Even Bijan. Oh.
Sell him. Sell him.
They gotta go. They gotta go because the price is just crazy at this point. And I mean, God, I don't even like the idea of selling Bijan. I really don't because I think this is the one place where he is for sure the RB1 period. But I mean, but like just the price is so high right now, and then just if you can do it all before training camp and before news really comes out, then just please get it done. Yeah, everyone's a sell, but at the same time, you should be dumb happy if you have any of these guys.
Yeah. I would love to tear off a Bijan. I don't own Bijan a lot of places. I don't own a lot of expensive running backs. You know that. Like I'll go buy him when the time's right. But Bijan just seems like the perfect guy. We talked about that trade, dude. If you can get Jonathan Taylor and a first for Bijan for someone that just loves Bijan, okay, whatever. Like I'll take that deal. But yeah, I'm trying to sell everybody. But there's one dude, Smitty. There's one dude that has found his way on a lot of my teams. And really, it's been through startup drafts this year. But, dude, I think you need to go give the manager that has Tyler Algier an offer they can't refuse. And what I mean by that is we're not going to overpay. We're not going to send you a first.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm willing to overpay, and especially this is why. So one of my draft strategies, a lot of my second rounders this year, I'm going to be trading and just kicking to next year so I can have 25 picks in season to go buy somebody or during training camp. If Tyler Algier and Bijan stay healthy coming out of training camp, like I want Tyler Algier because if Bijan gets hurt, okay, one, he's going to get touches. But two, if Bijan gets hurt, there's a possibility of an RB, a top 12 from the day Tyler Algier starts, finish for a fantasy year. And what price you can get him as a backup, it's worth the price. And you know what? If it doesn't pan out, that's what liquidity's for anyway. The hit rates in these seconds and third rounders, whatever. Johan Dotson. Sell the hype and go get Tyler Algier. Boom. I think we figured out a Johan Dotson trade finally.
Oh, maybe. Oh, you really reminded me that Tyler Algier was absolute himothy when Bijan wasn't even around. So
Yeah.
that's sound advice, man. I love it. I love doing a pod with this guy. I swear. He's great.
I just make this up as I go along. Now I got to sit back and
Oh,
start sending these-
no, don't say that. That was great. That was great.
Yeah, so Kyle Pitts. Let's tear down Kyle Pitts with the hype. So we're going to sell high on Kyle Pitts. Let's say we're going to tear down at tight end. What range of tight ends are you looking at? So
I gotta tell you right now, you have to skip T.J. Hawkinson. I don't care how you feel about him. Yes, he's a vet. Yes, he's great when he's healthy, but it's the when he's healthy that I don't care about. So I like Musgraves. I like Ingram.
Okay. I think that could come with a first rounder back to you.
Ooh, let's do it. Let's do it. I'm so surprised by that. Yes.
I really think it could, dude. I mean, Kyle Pitts is so hyped, and he's still so young, and he's finally getting a quarterback. Like, I'm willing, if I look like a fool for selling him, I just don't care because I will own him places. But sometimes you got to get out because, dude, if Kyle Pitts doesn't have a good year, what are you going to trade him for next year? I mean, he's not even going to be a tier-up piece. It's going to be his time is over, even though he's 24.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, or you just have to sit on your hands like Njoku. Oh, speaking of Njoku, that's another guy. Yeah, you definitely get a first back with Njoku. Wow.
That's a tear down I want to do all day long, dude. David Njoku's a beast. That man, we had an episode where all I did is talk about how sexy that man was. You know what? I'll probably talk about that with Daniel Craig tonight. But that dude is, I mean, a golden god. When I saw him in the Pro Bowl, dude, I was like, oh, man, I want to be him.
Dude, yes, I'm so glad you mentioned the Pro Bowl really sold me on Njoku, despite the fact that he won people leagues during the fantasy season. But the Pro Bowl is what did it. That's weird. That's so funny now. I totally agree.
I swear. So I had, I can't remember who the three tight ends were, but it was Isaiah Likely, David Njoku, and man, I can't remember who the third tight end was, where I had a championship non-tight end premium that I threw three tight ends in my starting lineup and won. And it was all because of David Njoku and Isaiah Likely. Like, they smashed for me. It was the greatest win I've ever had. I still love that win.
I love that. I love that you did it with tight ends, three of them.
Who does that in a non-tight end premium league? Is just like, all right, the matchup works, and these boys are going off.
I would never.
All right,
Nope, not
Carolina
Casey
Panthers.
Never.
This is going to be a
Okay.
fun one to talk about. Let's start with Bryce. Let's start with the little guy.
The only guy you should buy, in my opinion.
You got to buy him, dude. You got to buy him and take the chance. This guy is a guaranteed starter for 2 more years. And you know what? It might bust. You might look like a fool, but there's places I know teams are going to need a quarterback to take a chance on, or even sliding him into your third QB. He does not. 111. 111 for Bryce Young right now. Are you taking that deal?
Oh, I love it because I would. I actually absolutely would because if you have Bryce Young, you were burned. Period. I don't care. I don't care if you won the league. You're still burned. So yeah, get him off my team. I feel that. I completely feel that.
Yep. 202 for Bryce Young.
Ooh, now we're getting scary. And then the 201 or the 202 doesn't even have the allure of a first rounder, which is unfortunate because he spent a 102 for him in
Or the
2023.
101 last year. A lot of people spent the
Oh my
101.
God. I almost considered it myself. Actually, no, I would never, but because Bijan was there. But yeah, you're absolutely right, bro.
I think
No,
you could
that's
take
not
the
gonna work.
202.
Too low.
So let's say if you
Yeah.
want to buy him,
Mhm.
I think you could take the 202, and I think you can add pieces that don't matter that just look sexy enough to get a trade done. So, let's talk about the great hype for first round wide receivers. Let's talk about J-Mo, 202, and a 303 for Bryce Young. Will you take that trade? Because I will gladly take a chance on a quarterback for that price.
I would too. I would too. I would too. Honestly, I like that angle. I'm looking at people like Fields, where I'm gonna just say right now, my genuine just stamp it in the ground. Week 6 is when he takes over. Will he be good in week 6? That I don't know, but I know Russ is gonna fall apart really quickly.
You know what
And
scared me?
say what?
Did you see that Pittsburgh didn't pick up Justin Fields' 5th-year option, which means they are not committed to him? I think that was either announced today or yesterday. I saw, so they are not committed. I was like, oh no, you gave up a 6th and you won't pick the 5th-year rookie option's nothing, dude, and you're not even paying Russ. Like, there's no commitment to doing that to Justin Fields. Like, they just didn't do it though.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that's gonna take processing. That's actually, I'm sorry. I didn't forget Fields. Let's talk about. Well, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Let's talk about Kirk.
I would rather have Justin Fields than Bryce.
Would you?
I would
Really
rather
like
take a chance on Justin Fields that he gets starting because of his rushing ability. That's why I would take him over Bryce.
Okay, but you did mention that Bryce Young has a little bit more longevity.
No, I know that, but then I have to really do a risk reward analysis, and it's just like, if Justin Fields is under center, he will score so many more points just with his legs, and I do believe that.
And that's the
Like,
point.
Russ is old, so yeah, I don't know, but that'd be hard. But I think I can have Justin Fields and a piece opposed to Bryce, so I think it's like a 2-for-1 in that scenario where I might just take the upside of Justin Fields and something else, but you can get Bryce cheap, man. You definitely can get Bryce cheap right now. People, look I have the only place I drafted Bryce. I
Oh.
hate looking at him on my team. There are people that will see a trade come through that actually owned him last year that didn't do a startup draft with him that can't wait to find some sort of value because that was one of the most brutal years I've ever seen a rookie quarterback have. And he was set up to fail. That's a problem. But it's a story.
Yeah.
All right, so Tony Pollard, I'm not buying. I'm not, like, he fits my build. I am not buying him. Don't want him.
Honestly, I just have to see how that situation plays out. If I'm being honest, because I think just because I don't. I mean, did I see flashes from Tajay Spears? Yes, but I don't believe Tajay Spears without an ACL is weird to even. I can't believe in a man like him. So let's see how Tony Pollard does in that system. As of right now, do not buy. As of right now, just we gotta get some data.
Yeah. Deontay Johnson. Is there a buying opportunity in DJ? I mean, this is a guy that he will command 100 plus targets this year. I mean, I think that's worth a second rounder, right, in a PPR format.
Yeah, honestly, I would, dude. If you, this is the truth. I am such a stack guy to where if you have a if you have a Bryce Young, I'm willing to throw the one. You don't have, if you have a Bryce Young, you do not have the 112 unless you earned it. I mean, unless you traded for it. But if you if you found a way to get a 112, a 201, I would pay that right away for
That's like a
for
start.
the
That's like a 12-team start 20, and you squeaked in with a win on Bryce Young because quarterbacks don't matter.
Exactly. But if you happen to have this, oh, you know what? I'm sorry, a much more realistic situation, the 201. If you have the 201, I would swap that out for Deontay just for the stack. Now, without a stack, if you should you acquire? I don't know. That's
I
tough to
think
say.
I think you can if you have the 201. I think you can get Deontay Johnson and something else for the 201 because there's going to be a quarterback. There's going to probably be RB1 of this draft class at the 201. There's going to be a receiver there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you can actually really get DJ cheap for a guy who you know, if he stays healthy, will get 100 targets.
Boom. God, I love.
Oh my God. I didn't think I was going to talk
love-
DJ tonight. I'm going to go buy the shit out of him everywhere when I get off this call.
I'm really thinking about the same thing. Yeah, but it's just, will I have the capital? That's the question.
Oh, by the way, so I've got a price check on something from last podcast on David Montgomery.
Oh, no way.
He's more expensive than I was talking about last week, so he is not in the category of a buy. And I actually believe that he's almost into the Derrick Henry category where teams have just accepted the fact that they're going to use him until he dies on the roster. Like, they don't care. He has the value that no one's going to give you in a trade, so screw it. I'm just going to roll with it. I can't get him anywhere, dude. I'm trying to get him everywhere. You saw, I was showing you the trades I was sending. Like, I thought they were in the ballpark of, like, a conversation.
To be honest, I did too because, I mean, I'm not going to keep saying it, but I'm going to keep saying it. This offense is set up for Gibbs to be amazing for a long time. I don't know when. I don't know how long Montgomery's contract is. I don't know when it ends. But when we get to he's in the NFC. When we get to the Lions, I'll speak on how I really feel about Montgomery.
Yeah, we talked about him last week, but I was just doing a price. So, all right, so let's get into the Saints. Chris Olave, we talked about.
last week.
You were kind of just like, I'm dead on Chris Olave a little bit ago, but if
I am willing to sell, yeah.
But then there's my side that's willing to buy. I'm like, okay. I was like, I've seen Chris Olave be a wide receiver 1. Can I get him for wide receiver 26 price? Can I get him for that? I probably can.
Because I think that is really where he is. I think that's exactly where he is. That's where he should be. You know, he should be higher, but I think that's where he is. I mean, because it's just the car of it all, the Derek Carr of it all. I'm really surprised that they're not in talks of trading up, but what do they have to offer? I mean, it's just I need that connection to figure it out.
Yeah.
No more cussing each other out on the sidelines in front of everyone on national TV. I can't see that anymore.
I believe that you can get probably Chris Olave the cheaper than you'll be able to get him this time next year.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, so that makes him a buy low for me. I just got to figure out where that line is because you can't get him for a second. You cannot get him for a second. So
probably not.
111, 112, I think is a good range to go get someone like Chris Olave.
It's a good conversation starter. I mean, it really depends on what that person wants. Like, I mean, honestly, with me, because like I said, I never have the type of liquidity you have. So if I'm able to get any type of liquidity at all, I mean, if we're just talking first rounder, I think that's perfect. But it really depends on the situation. But you're right. I think that's good, but you should aim a little higher.
Yeah. So this time next year, I'm telling you, you're going to start having some teams that got liquidity like I do. Smitty, at this point, I don't even know what I enjoy more. Like the off season of like dynasty startup season, going shopping to have your roster construction where you want it by September is almost more fun than the freaking season. Dude, I love it. Dude, I can go buy anything. Like, there is nothing that's unattainable for most of my teams. Like, if I need anything, I have that and more to go get it. And I still have elite players on my team this week. That's the crazy part about most of my liquidity is you look down, I still got 3 stud wide receivers anchored by 2 just absolutely top 10 QBs, and I got 5 first-round draft picks.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous situation. I really do. Hey, I've seen this man in action. That's an envious situation to be in. Like I mean, like that's for all of us. We're like, damn, how you pull that off? But it sounds great. I love that, and you can really build the team the way you want to. I mean, that has to be better than the season. That
So
has to be.
I appreciate the first segment where we started going what you can buy because I have 30 rookie drafts to do after the NFL draft.
Oh
And
my god.
my goal is I'm probably going to knock out about 70 trades between all 30 leagues during. I mean that's like just 2.1 a draft. Like I can easily knock that out whether I'm selling or buying. I'm
When you
always
put it
doing
that way,
something.
when you
Yeah.
put it that way, you're right. It's just dang, that's a high number. Hey,
So
I'm ready for
running
you, man.
backs. Running backs. Let's talk about Kendre Miller. Let's talk about Alvin Kamara, and that's it.
Yeah. Buy Kamara low for like a late second, early third, and if that owner's not willing to give up, if you're not able to get that deal done, then leave it alone. I'm just so I'm saying it now. I'm out on that offense. I don't even know if I want to even buy Raheem Shaheed at this point, and I definitely don't want Carr. I mean, it's just over.
Yeah.
It's over.
And there's not a selling opportunity for any of these players either. So, I
Unfortunately,
think
yeah.
you got to hold them or just be willing to take a loss on what you got them for, which, by the way, listeners, don't be afraid to do that if you're running a portfolio because the worst thing you can have is 10 shares of the same player, like a 40% share of a player on all your rosters, and they just, like Kendre Miller goes out and just will never do anything. That just sucks. So, you know what? Sometimes you got to take a third. Sometimes you got to take a fourth. Sometimes you just got to get out. Don't be afraid to do that. You got to do it everywhere, but just be mindful of your roster construction and player percentage. All right, so Chris Olave, really the only buy, but I don't even think you're going to buy him. I probably will. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, this one's cool. Go buy everybody. Fuck it. Go buy
You
everybody.
say go buy
Go
everyone.
buy
I
everybody except for White. Go buy everybody except for Rashad White. Fuck it, dude. Why
White
not?
would be the guy I would consider, but at the same time though, I also I was gonna honestly say sell everybody. Definitely consider selling Baker. Definitely consider selling Baker just because I really don't know how long that I don't know how long that little magic mission is going on for. Um, God, there are some serious scared contenders that will pay that just need a Mike Evans on their team. Like when I say scared contenders, that means like they know that their time is they know that their window is closing like the Bills. So with that being the case, they know they need to make sure that they get Mike Evans. And please take advantage of that kid because he needs Mike Evans. And yeah, so that's this opportunity. Godwin, I don't even know what I don't know what
So
to do with Godwin. You
if
say hold
you're a
on.
contender, just think about this. If you're a contender and you're going to buy Mike Evans, he probably is going to be minimum your wide receiver 3 or your wide receiver 4 on a contender. That's what liquidity is. Give that manager an offer they can't refuse because you're not giving up everything. If you got 7 picks in this draft, make it happen. You still got liquidity to go do other things. Go buy him. One more Mike Evans year. Bring it on, baby. Nobody believes that Baker Mayfield can actually be an elite QB. You know what? Stick him as my QB 2 or 3 on a start 11. Start 10, probably not. Take a shot. Chris Godwin gets traded tomorrow. Dude, just go for it. Chris Godwin gets traded to the Buffalo Bills. Who the hell knows?
Oh,
That's a trade. The Bills need a receiver, dude, and they need more than just a rookie receiver.
that's a fact. That's a fact, and we're all really sitting here saying, "Oh, they can get the best rookie." No, you're right. I mean, not the best rookie, but they're gonna get a rookie, and they're gonna make that work. You're right. They may not because it took a minute for Kincaid to be even like a conversation. So, yeah, I fully agree with you.
So let's talk about White. This is what I'm curious on. So I said everybody but White because he's viewed as a starting running back, which is very valuable, and I don't want to pay a starting running back price for him. That's why I don't want to go buy him. But he is a starting running back that catches a lot of footballs with the exact same offense. So he is a
Yeah.
very valuable piece. And I don't think I can buy him for enough. But let's talk about what do you need to do to go get White? Because maybe I'm not thinking about this the right way, and maybe he's the perfect running back for me.
I think you're thinking about this the absolute perfect way you possibly can. Look, okay, if you, this is how I genuinely feel now that you said this. Okay, so you have your price, you send that out to the white manager, and he says no, or she says, no, I'm sorry, this is not enough. I had too good of a year last year. This is what you should do. Okay, thank you for your time, thank you for responding to me, and then leave him alone because he's gonna fall off very soon. Like it's just he's overproduced twice in a row. And I love Rashad White. I think he is one of my absolute favorite running backs in the league, but it's he's been pulling quarters out of pennies. I don't know how. I mean, just Baker is making it work. Brady made it work, and I don't see the future for him looking great. I really don't. He's gonna drop off soon. Maybe not this year. Maybe midway of this year. I don't know. I don't know.
If he stays safe in the draft, I mean, he's got one more year. You are not, like, that's the thing. I'm not thinking 2-3 years out. You are 100% correct. But now that I'm thinking about this, I might think about going to buy him because you are kind of selling me a little bit that if he stays safe in this draft, I think I would, I got to think of this about a trade, but I think I would try to do a trade where the owner didn't know that my goal was to get White off of their team, and it's more like an ancillary piece where they think they're getting the value on one side, but I'm giving up pieces that I don't need on my team. Like, I mean, maybe I've got I mean, you know me. I usually have 5 stud wide receivers on my team.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm trying to unload one of those, tearing down and adding White into the deal, maybe.
I'm trying to think of who that third could be. Oh, okay, you know what? Here, I got you. Rasheed Rice. I think you could do trade away Rasheed Rice, get Rashad plus. I think you have to get Rashad plus. What do you think? Do you think that you can go lower than Rasheed? Because that's what I'm.
I would easily think I could figure out some sort of package on my team to get rid of Rashi Rice for White and something else that's valuable for me. I think I can look at. I mean, that's a wet dream trade for a rebuilding team right there to go get Rashi right now, and you're not going to get him cheaper than now. So it's like, all right, you don't need that running back for you don't need him. He's not going to do anything. So let me give you Rashi Rice. You give me him and a second, and maybe that gets it done. Or
that would actually. Yeah.
Or maybe I get somebody in the trade. No, I can't. I don't think I do it. Yeah, I think that's about the value.
What about like a Amari Cooper, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs? I'm not gonna say Cooper Cup, but he kind of is in this range where it's like their days are very obviously numbered, but they are high producing receivers. And then you get a young running back whose quietly days are numbered as well. That's not a swap I would consider.
That's fantastic. So how about this? How about you look at Rashi Rice and a second rounder next year for a rebuilding team for Amari Cooper? Or sorry, hold on. Yeah, Rashi Rice. Dude, that's great. A future second for White and one of those other guys. That's fantastic, Smitty.
I got Keenan Allen. Oh my god. Yeah. I would do that. I would. Oh god. See, actually, I don't even know what side I'd rather have because I see Amari being a thing next year, but it's just. Do I think Deshaun's going to be a thing? And that's what just kills me about Amari. I don't know. And then we all know that Keenan Allen is good for 1 year, and it's just not likely he's going to get. It's not likely he's going to get paid again. Yeah. I feel both sides kind of. I think I lean more the White side.
Rashi, the 201 for a rebuilding team that has Debo and White on the team.
Oh yeah. Give me Debo. I like that.
Yeah, I think you could sell that to someone that's rebuilding. I really do. Maybe add something else in there. I mean, maybe the 112 and Rashi gets you both of those plus something else. All right, man. Those are some great ideas. We broke. We got the other division. Hold on. We've got NFC West. Wow. Okay, let's go. This might be a little bit longer. We're gonna fire rapid this one.
Okay,
Arizona
sure.
Cardinals. I'm gonna start this one. Michael Wilson, James Conner, the avocado, Go get them. You can get them, and I do believe that they're all cheap enough where they will find value as they come up because Michael Wilson is going to be wide open in this offense. If we get Marv and you got Trey, it's going to be fantastic. Go buy them all, and do not sell Trey McBride for anything.
I'm very blown away by this. First off, I got very hyped when he said that Amari DiMarcano is a buy. I love
For
that.
the price you can get him, dude. Like send somebody a third for the avocado, dude. I'm telling you, he's accepted. Or
No, you-
get this. Let's say you're in the rookie draft and you have the 303 and you want to kick that pick out to the following year so you have liquidity to go buy something later because the 303 is not going to do anything. I'll tell you what, you give me the avocado and your third rounder next year and you can have my 305 this year. Now I got running back and liquidity to go buy something later.
Yes.
That's how cheap he is, dude. Give it to me.
I love
Fuck
that.
it.
I'm super into that. I'm super into that move. I like the Michael Wilson move as well, but I also see. I don't know. This is just maybe a want than a true prediction, but I think the Cardinals are going to find themselves with two of these rookie receivers. I don't know. I think I just really appreciate that angle from one of the mock drafts. James Conner. I mean, absolutely my favorite buy. I mean, possibly my number one favorite running back buy. Oh my god, I love James Conner so much.
So I got a
And-
trade out for Johan Dotson for Connor in a team that's rebuilding. I think going into next year. I don't know. I texted him. I'm like, dude, what direction are you going? Because if you're rebuilding, this makes sense. If you don't, just laugh at me and reject it. But how about something like that for a rebuilding team? Would Dotson get you there?
I love it. I love it. I love it because it's really a well. Dotson is a wide receiver too, and he had a terrible 2023. Meanwhile, James Conner had a nice finish to 2023, but we all know that his days are numbered, and they might even draft a freaking running back. I think it's
we
very
do draft a running back. By the way, I really do.
Oh, you do?
That's why I think we do. We got the picks to do it in the rounds. I do, but
Max.
you know, who knows? But I think you get them all cheap. Trey McBride, you can tear up somewhere, and Joku in a first, go get Trey McBride in a tight end premium, like a 1.75. Go do your thing. Get a third back in the trade or, the crappy running back nobody wants. But I'm not tearing down on Trey, dude. Like, I'm just not doing it. This is non-player agnostic Brian Bond over here. I love the guy. He's my guy. He's my team. It's like you and Puka. You are going to have to really overpay to get this. Like, you're going to have something like 3 first rounders, and I'm like, shit, I got to take that.
Yeah.
LA Rams. Hit it. Let's hit the LA Rams real quick. Who's buying?
Okay, I'm just gonna say this: be okay, everybody. Please, just be okay with the idea of Stafford being your QB2. I know he does not present rushing upside. He doesn't really. He sometimes present QB1 numbers, and honestly, that's if they're not relying on Kyron Williams. Speaking of Kyron Williams, too expensive. And honestly, his days are numbered as well already. Puka Nacua, too expensive. I'm just saying, like, if you want to, just know you have to pay up. But I have no suggestions. Like, just leave it alone. Cup, second rounder. If you can pull that off, great. If you can't, leave him alone. And that's really as far as I can go. I have nothing to say about Tutu. I have nothing to say about the tight ends. I really. Just the only one that's buyable really is Cup, and if you are spending more than a second rounder, then you pay too much.
Yep.
And just be okay with Stafford being a QB2. Just be okay with it.
Go buy those old nasty vets that a rebuilding team doesn't want. Go find a way when you're trying to win now to give up Bryce Young and get Matt Stafford because a rebuilding team's going to be like, yeah, Matt Stafford's going to do nothing for me next year. I mean, I have seen Cooper Kupp get traded for the most ridiculous, stupidest prices where you're like,
Oh wow!
you 303, bro. Like, I mean, oh, dude, it's just I've seen some wild, man. That's what late seconds are for when you want to go win. Like, I mean, find a way to get that done. The 204, not happening. There's no price that I'm paying for that, man. That's just a running back thing. Yeah, but Puka.
This is a little pricey. Puka, I mean, God. I mean, I think he's going to have a great year. It's just fantastic rookie season. What can he do? That's a stud at this point.
Yeah, so here's a part of selling Puka. Just the argument is
Okay.
Puka Nakua. I have seen him traded in almost every league. It's wild. Puka Nakua can actually get you to tier up to any player in the NFL right now.
Whoa.
I mean, every player is obtainable when Puka Nakua is in the trade. You want Justin Jefferson and you want to give up Puka and a 2025 first, there are people that are going to take that trade. You want to go get Puka and Jordan Love and go get you some Josh Allen, done. I mean, Puka literally can get you anywhere. What happens if we just saw the best year Puka Nakua ever has?
Look, honestly, wildly possible, very possible. And I don't like living in this world even for a second, but it's super duper possible. And also, yeah, I mean, if that's the case, you gotta sell high. And honestly, if you're wrong, like you got JJ. Like, how mad are you? You know.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you got Puka Plus. How bad can you be?
So here's why I would just go down with the ship. I don't even care. Like, I'm not even trading Puka because if I legitimately drafted Puka, like, I have to be so stacked at wide receiver regardless because, I mean, like, I drafted him in the third or fourth round last year. Like I drafted him to be like my wide receiver 8. Like his value against what I probably have on the team is just like, no, you're not going to get him. I don't even care if I can make a profit. Like, for what I paid, I already have the profit with him just sitting his ass on my team.
A fact.
Yeah.
Absolute fact.
Seattle Seahawks. So I have traded DK Metcalf in just about every single team I have him in because DK is still valuable enough to just go get you whatever you want. I tiered off a DK for Reed and a 110. Boom. Done. And I think we had some second flops in there, just stupid stuff. But I traded DK for the 201 and Debo Samuel on a team that I'm absolutely going for it, but I need one more running back as well, and that I'm going to get that depth probably at the 201. You can
Yes.
you can go do that. JSN, if you want to believe he's as cheap as you can get him until this time next year, he probably will be cheaper. Tyler Lockett? I think maybe that's what like late thirds, fourths are for, right?
Yeah, for a contender, it's like he's really a flex piece if not, unless he's proven better. God, I don't see anybody on this team as a buy except for Lockett. Like the Geno of it all. I don't even want Geno, frankly. I don't want Geno. I love Kenneth Walker, probably a top 3 running back in favorite running back in the league. I love Kenneth Walker, but buying him is very unnecessary. Charbonnet, forget about it. Yeah, I don't even want. I think sell for what you can. This is like a team where you said you can get what you want with DK, and that's great. And I think that's as far as it goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm definitely selling Walker. I do believe that his value will be much lower this time next year, just by wave of next year's running back class doesn't look too bad coming in. And I mean, he can break some plays, but I don't think he's a hammer. I don't think he's a difference maker. I think he's a really good RB2 on your team, but I don't know. I think I can get some value out of him. But yeah, you're right. I'm almost completely out on Seattle right now. Like, I found myself just completely liquidating everything during this offseason.
It's one of those teams. I don't know. Maybe I don't know the Mike McDonald of it all. Maybe that fixed something. I mean, not necessarily fixed, but like raises the value. I don't know. I'm not really interested in any of these players. But I do like the Lockett price you mentioned, and I do like the idea they could sell DK for almost anything. Yeah, sorry, that's just all I got for this team.
So 49ers. This one will be fun. Here's just my thoughts on the 49ers. If you want to win a championship this year, go put Debo Samuel on your team. I think you should sell Brandon Ayuk right now. I think you should find what the value of Christian McCaffrey is in your league and determine if that's worth trying to go buy a championship or not, and just figure that one out because Christian McCaffrey's as cheap as he will ever or has ever been right now, but he's still expensive. So Ayuk's up in the air for getting traded. I I just think he fits that system so well that where does he get traded to? And is that going to be a good fit? But go buy Debo, dude. You know, maybe he gets hurt, maybe he doesn't. But if that boy's playing, you are going to get absolute hammer weeks from him. Just spike weeks. He's a man's man. Go buy some Debo, baby. I've done it everywhere. I have bought Debo in so many friggin' leagues, dude.
Dude, Debo's great. Yeah, he's definitely my number one buy. Yes, and I agree. I mean, well, I don't know if this is how you feel, but I do think he's the better buy than McCaffrey. Um, let's just be honest. The type of year McCaffrey had in 2023 is just really hard for me, despite my dislike for that team. It's really hard for me to see him do 80% of that in 2024. It's just, I mean, I don't know what type of drugs they have out there in San Fran, but Jesus, he was upright. And it just seems wild to me that he did it because I've been burned almost all my fantasy career on that man. Like, he just can't, it doesn't matter. Just understand that I think the healthiest buy is Debo. I think you are going to have to pay, and I think whatever you pay, not whatever, but if you have to pay up, it's worth it. Um, Ayuk, if he gets traded, people are going to look at Debo more. I say lean towards Ronnie Bell. Don't even think about Juwan Jennings. He's just a guy. Ronnie Bell showed. Ronnie Bell is just a guy. Honestly, he is. But I'm a lot more excited for him to replace Ayuk than Juwan Jennings. And then honestly, they might draft a guy, but Ronnie Bell has the experience. So I don't know. Just throw a third at him, see what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm completely out on Cameron Latu. That was a guy I was big on, but I'm done. Oh, speaking of Kittle, don't mess with him. Leave him alone.
I'm out on Kittle unless it's a tight end premium, like a 2 PPR for it.
Holy God, yeah.
Like his value's there and he's cheap enough, but oh man, I was just gonna plant my flag. I'm gonna make my one prediction for the NFL draft. Malachi Corley ends up on the San Francisco 49ers, and you're going to have 2 friggin' Debos on the field at the same time, dude.
Oh, my God. Shanahan is going to... He's gonna, I hate him.
And don't be surprised if Ayuk gets traded at the exact spot that they pick him for that team and get another piece for it.
And I hope it's in the teens. I hope it's in the 20s. I'm sorry. Yeah. Just being a dick. I hope it's low. I hope it's a low first. I honest to God really hope it's a second. Right. I hope that's a Friday pick if I'm being honest.
All right. No more fantasy football. We're doing it. Let's jump into James Bond. I have been waiting for this one, brother. So I'm a huge James Bond fan, homie. Part of the reason that I love James Bond, I want to pull up my notes here because I actually wrote something down and I forgot exactly what I wrote down. And it was, all right, here's my original thoughts on James Bond. Okay? First off, it is a musical journey throughout an entire movie. And the theme song is done by the best pop artists of that time. It's done in so many different genres. We had a disco James Bond during the 70s. We've had rock, we've had pop. But James Bond doesn't talk a lot in these movies. And the score of these movies will tell you every bit of how James Bond's feeling. Now, when the theme song comes in, every single guy that listens to this thing feels like the man driving his car listening to this song. You texted me that this morning. It is the most recognizable theme song of any movie ever. It has stood the test of time, and we've had many different composers, but there's a seductive sound that's like perfume in the air of a James Bond score. Every guy wants to be him. Every woman wants to you-know-what with him. But
yeah.
The one thing about the score is there's 3 components to a James Bond song. There's the score, there's the theme, and then there's the Bond song. But the Bond movies that actually put the Bond song that's done by the greatest artist and blend it into the score in the most important parts of the movies, it's incredible. So, all right. Smitty, I'm going to give you a list, and I want to hear some of these. So here's just performers that have sung the Bond song. Carly Simon, Paul McCartney, Shirley Bassey, Adele, Billie Eilish, Tom Jones, Garbage, not sure why, Chris Cornell, Sam Smith. U2 wrote a song that Tina Turner sang. We've had Madonna, Duran Duran, Louis Armstrong, Alicia Keys, and Jack White. I mean, the list just goes on. Like these are goats, man. All right, I've talked enough. Talk to me about Bond.
Dude, I want to throw out, like, you pretty much named everyone, and I don't think you named her. Cheryl Crow made a solid one, dude.
Oh,
I
I
like
forgot about
Cheryl
that.
Crows. I like Cheryl, and I don't even listen to her like that, but I'm like, oh, this is working for me. This is working. Like, yeah, this is Bond. This is
Dude, you felt it.
this is working for me. Like, dude, I love. Oh my god, I'm really happy with her. You know, what, hold on, let me pull up. So when you mentioned that we should do, by the way, I just have to admit this. Brian has the coolest ideas for when it comes to like what music should we talk about. He has the cool ideas. I have the ones that are a little too personal to my taste. That just it bleeds out and then it's hit or miss. But he has the coolest ideas. This was a fantastic idea because I get to go because you know throughout the week I was listening to the ones I like. I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm so ready for this. But then today I listened to the entire there's a Spotify playlist with all the Bond songs, and I got to hear all the ones I never heard before or from the movies I never seen. God, that was such a that itself, which I highly suggest we all do that. Listen to that playlist because that honestly is a music history lesson. Because like you said, they took all the greatest or maybe even biggest artists of that time, and you really get to hear how things kind of progress. What did they leave out? What did they include? What stuck around? What is the main component of a Bond song? And I think my number one thing is we have to have those freaking horns, those da-dun, da-dun. You have to have them because it's almost consistent with all 20, 30, damn near 30 of these. But I just want to highlight a couple of them. From Russia with Love is probably the earliest one that got me. Like, I think
It's
those
first
the
one.
early ones really did do a great job describing who Bond is. But the thing is, they described him to be a rather not the greatest man, but the coolest man for sure. So they'll mention things like, and then there'll even be women saying this like, "Oh, he's the most stylish, right? Like he has the perfect drink order. He's incredibly selfish, but he's also incredibly methodic. So everything will fall into his lap because he made sure it happened. Like these songs are describing the perfect dude. Like I don't. Do you feel like these songs describe James Bond be like a perfect guy?
Yeah, they do. Because, I mean, every woman falls for him. Like, the parts of the movie, all right, when you get to. So, every James Bond, there's like, he always ends up a loner. He always ends up by himself. But they show love. They show him caring. They show betrayal. And every song is built into what's being betrayed and everything.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I mean, just look at this. Hold on, I'm gonna pull something up here. So let's just look at this, dude. I'm just gonna say it, dude. Look at this sexy ass man, dude. Like, come on. Everybody wants to be that dude. And I love my James Bond, but I will tell you that Daniel Craig is to me the best Bond of all time.
Whoa.
But it's the way they did his movies, and here's why his movies are the best. So Casino Royale was the first one, and what they did in Casino Royale is they built him into James Bond. So the James Bond theme song is not played in this movie until the end. There's a scene in here where the bartender asks him, because James Bond always has the martini shaken not stirred, and the bartender asks him, "Do you want it shaken or stirred?" And he looks at it and says, "Do I look like I give a damn?" Like, they built him into James Bond, and the coolest thing about this score is at the exact last episode or scene when he comes with a gun and he kills him on the stage, and he finally says the name's Bond, James Bond. And the first time Daniel Craig's theme song for Bond kicks in is at the end of the song. And it was like, all right, James Bond is here. But then they go through this whirl of it. And No Time to Die is actually one of my favorite movies. And Billie Eilish did the song. But what's beautiful about this, do you like that movie, Smitty, by the way? Do you remember it well?
To be honest with you, I never watch it because I feel like it's one of those films where once I watch it, it's done. Like it's over for Bond. Like it's over. It's
It
over.
is.
I'm
It
scared.
is. But what
It
they
is
did in the first
scary.
time in this movie is Billie Eilish, when she was doing the recording, she was doing some humming, just humming into the microphone, and Hans, whatever the guy who did the score, was telling her keep doing it, and he saved all of this, and it's the first time that piano intro to No Time to Die comes in at right before the love scene when James Bond is literally saying, I'll be back, and giving his wife a kiss, or a girl he's going to marry a kiss, sending her away with the kid he just found out he had. And all you hear is Billie Eilish humming to that piano. And it's the first time they've ever put the singer of the theme song into the movie while it's playing. And what the director said is Billie Eilish was a silent ghost that made the movie. It's the most amazing love scene ever. But when he goes and dies, about 10 minutes later, they're just blending in the theme song and the piano part for No Time to Die. It's the most beautiful blend of the theme song and the score you'll ever hear. That's what made the whole movie. But he does two lines in the movie, which is just incredible. They open it with a line from a James Bond movie where he's driving, and she says, speed up. And he says, we have all the time in the world. That was a nostalgic moment in Bond. And then at the end of right before he blows up, he's on the phone with his girl, and she's like, we just need more time. And he says, you have all the time in the world, and then dies. It's just, it was the most nostalgic James Bond moment of all time. You got to go watch the movie. But let's rank these. You want to rank some of these? You want to rank them?
Yeah, but I'm just so taken back because if we're talking about ranking, I do have that one at number 6, like my honorable mention 6, because I love the idea how the song's like kind of about a relationship that's going to end, and you gave me the context I needed. It's because someone's about to die.
Yeah. But the other context of the song where she's talking about betrayal and all of this is the opening scene. Basically, Spectre from before, he thinks is coming to kill them and everything, and he thinks she betrayed him. And dude, there's this scene at the beginning right before they kick on the song No Time to Die where he's in his Aston Martin and everybody's shooting him, and they're literally just shooting at these bulletproof windows, and he sits there for like 3 minutes while they're just shooting these windows, and they're coming in, and she keeps telling him she didn't betray him. And the look he has, he's staring at her with just like his heart is breaking, and he can't even think about what to do for like 2 minutes in this movie. It's just epic, dude. It's epic. But that song is not my favorite James Bond song. It's just my favorite way they used it in a movie.
You convinced me, man. I'm gonna finally stop playing myself and just watch it.
Dude, watch it. It is, and just, dude, make sure you can just crank the music. It's great. But what is your favorite James Bond song?
All right, so I have two. I have two that are just fighting for that one spot, and one of them is not official. So just starting with that one, I think what Radiohead did with Spectre was gorgeous, fantastic, and it was released around the time that they made their quote unquote final album, where they just became god tier with the strings. So like towards the end of Spectre, where the strings are just becoming the thing of that song, it was at the right time. When Radiohead does strings, I'm in, because they've gotten so much better over the years, and that's honestly, that might be the height. Spectre might be the height of their strings. Shame it wasn't considered, but at the end of the day, I will admit I'm not mad it wasn't considered. But
I got the backstory finally on that. Do you know the whole story?
I have no idea.
All right, so I'm not as mad at Bond. I've been trashing him for a very long time over this.
Okay.
But apparently, they asked Radiohead to submit a song to go, and they really wanted him to do it. So Radiohead went, met him, played him this song. But the number one rule for a James Bond song is it has to have never been released and only written for the movie. But apparently, Radiohead put it on a demo like 10 years earlier. They didn't really release it, but it was published, so James Bond couldn't use it. So they sent him away, say, hey, we can't use it. They went and started talking to Sam Smith, but then they went and wrote Spectre, and they submitted it back to Bond, and apparently they just love the song, but the intro, the graphics in the intro and the song have to go together, and they submitted it so late that they were already working on Sam Smith, so they couldn't use it because of the graphics at the beginning. So I'm not as mad at them as I thought. So I thought they just told him to F off.
Yeah, and I thought that too because we'll talk about it later. But yeah, Spectre is number one as well as Shirley Bassey's "Diamonds Are Forever." Now, look, I can be honest and say that's possibly hyped up for me because of how Kanye West used that
Dude,
sample
so sick.
to make "Diamonds from Sierra Leone." But like honestly, despite forget Kanye for a minute, what Shirley Bassey did with the song alone is fantastic. I really love how she's sitting here saying, "Look, man, these men are these and that, but if I really want to be happy, give me a diamond. Like these diamonds are forever. They will never betray me. They will never hurt me like a man would, and I am very appreciative of that." And I am. It's just the songwriting. I really do love the songwriting on that one. And later on, we're gonna get to the. When it comes to my top five, it really does come to songwriting. Like you really have lately made me realize lyrics are fantastic. Like they are so
Cool.
important.
I got something for you then. So, Diamonds Are Forever is the best Bond song because to be a Bond singer, and the one thing, all these people are mostly British on here. That's like a big thing. But you have to have attitude, baby. And if you want to know what attitude is, you go YouTube Shirley Bassey singing Diamonds Are Forever and just the hands and just the, oh, that's how you do a Bond song. But here's the backstory. So it was two guys that wrote this song, and it was the main writer was the original person that did the Bond song. So John Barry, he was the composer from '63 to '87. When he wrote this song, they told he said, I want to think about the male, like, you know, your thing, like, and I want a woman to sing a song about that. They wrote this about your junk, dude. So listen to these lyrics: touch it, stroke it, and undress it. I can see every part. Nothing hides in my heart to hurt me. I don't need love for what good love will do to me. Diamonds never lie to me. For when love's gone, they'll luster on. Dude, it's all like, it's insane. Go back and listen to it now. You're like, oh my goodness.
I can't believe I just said I love the songwriting. I'm here just
It
praising.
is, dude. It's great. It's the best Bond song ever. I'm gonna go with my second. Adele, dude. Adele. That is everything you want in a Bond song. I'm gonna tell you one more funny story. I know I keep going off on stories tonight.
Oh no, I love it. Please.
The song Skyfall is my wedding song.
Oh,
Okay.
beautiful.
This is how big of a Bond fan I am. My wedding song starts off with, "For this is the end." Count your something and count to 10. It's about dying, dude. But I love the song when it's there. She's got attitude. This was a song I danced to at my wedding with my wife. I mean, it's just like, if you want a powerhouse vocal, it doesn't get any better than Adele. That woman is a bad, bad Mama Jamba. And she's got all the Brit attitude you need.
Yes, I love that. So what's your number three? Let's talk about number three real quick because that was
So
you have a great
let
time.
me let me just look at my list here. I'm going off a lot of different notes here. So
All right.
um, Goldfinger by Shirley Bassey is also probably my third because this chick just rocked. She did 4 Bond songs, I think, but
All smash.
yeah, I mean, the majority of Bond songs have to have like the name in, unless it's like a really weird one, like Octopussy did not have that in their name. But I mean, the way she sang this with Goldfinger, it's the weirdest lyrics ever. And that was her first song she did. She did Diamonds Are Forever a few years later. But I think Shirley Bassey, Goldfinger's number 2, dude.
All right. I hate to admit this, but I'm so happy with the context you gave to where I feel better about it. Number three for me is "Writing on the Wall" by Sam Smith. I gave that song a, I mean, I boycotted that song. I plugged my ears in the theaters. I'm like, no, 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 shut up, shut up, shut up. You didn't do this. But I today, I was today years old when I finally gave that song a chance. Let me tell you something. I adore a song where it's talking about, hey, this life I've lived has made things risky to where I know I know the end is coming, and when I hear lyrics like about accepting finality, like I am a sucker for that, and I'll admit the song's not perfect, but just that subject matter is all I want. And she got a great voice, and I love the high soprano that he goes in. I
Mm.
love it. He did it for me. He did it.
I I believe that they made the correct choice on choosing that over Radiohead because that song is they nailed that song for that movie, dude. It
They
was good.
did. They did.
So I have that at 4.
Okay. Wow. Look at us.
No, I'm sorry. I have that at 5. I already had 3. Sorry, I had that at 5
Look at us. We have
because
the top 5.
look at I do in my video podcast of the Beatles right behind me. I love the Beatles. Paul McCartney did Live or Let Die. That song is one of the most classic songs ever in the history of music. But I was young when that movie came out. Dude, I actually didn't even know that was a Bond song till like 5 years ago. When I found out, I was like, what? I was like, okay. But I had to give Paul McCartney some loving because he smashed that, dude. Like, I mean, that's like an all-time like jukebox song, dude.
I don't know if I ranked that one. Dang. So I have to keep looking. But okay, that's great. I don't remember that one to be honest.
Yeah.
Did he sing
So
it as
what's your
well?
5? What's your 5?
At number
'Cause
five,
we could take Live or Let Die out because that's way long ago, dude. Like you got to have a certain type of love for old music.
oh, okay. Well, I can't wait to hear it though. But number 5 is Adele Skyfall, and then number 4 I gotta go License to Kill Gladys Knight. I love the lyrics. I love did when we were talking about the last dinner party, I was so down with the idea of them just wanting to be violent towards men. I'm like, yeah, we deserve it. End us. And here goes Gladys Knight talking about, hey man, you've been pissing me off, so I have a license to end you. And I'm not like that. I accept it. Like, go ahead, Gladys, kill him.
Dude, Gladys Knight, that's the original diva, dude. Like, yeah, you could talk about Aretha, you
Okay.
talk about all this. I gotta admit something. So, when Gladys Knight's song "Leaving on a Midnight Train to Georgia" comes on the radio, and I'm in my car by myself,
Uh oh.
it is the song that I sing the loudest at the top of my lungs. That is like one of my ultimate favorite songs in the back because it's all about these 4 dudes behind her, just letting it go, and she just oh yeah no Gladys Knight. Let's rank her right there, dude. I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, that was awesome. I did not expect to hear that today, and I love it. I love it. Yeah, so I see you on the top 5. I mean, honestly, a lot of these are great. If do we want to crap on a couple real quick?
Yeah, let's. Can we crap on? Actually, can we do 2 at the same time because I don't know which one's worse. Chris Cornell's. That was dude. That was Casino Royale. I love Chris
Right.
Cornell. R.I.P.
That's
My
like the
man.
movie right there. That's the
That song
movie.
sucked, and Madonna was road trash, dude. Like I don't know which one I hate worse.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Cornell just, I mean, he gets a pass, but at the end of he gets a pass, but I can't have that type of Madonna pop in a Bond song. I'm sorry, I'm not having it. I'm not. And if I'm being honest, I love Alicia Keys, but that song didn't do it for me. I
It's
didn't.
interesting, isn't it?
It's. I mean, God, it sounds great. I like the way it sounds, but I just don't think Alicia gave a crap, honestly. Because I know her to
Yeah,
be a fantastic singer, and she just did not sing fantastically.
I kind of wish Jack White and Alicia actually didn't sing, and Jack White literally did a theme song with his guitar because the guitar
Just
on that's
music?
actually kind of cool.
Yeah, just the music. Yeah,
Yeah, the Garbages was garbage. I just didn't like that one too much. I do want to give love to Billie Eilish's "No Time to Die."
yes.
That's right next to where we rank it. That's such a beautiful song, dude. It's such a beautiful song. Dude, Tom Jones, all right, I can't dig his music, but he sings one hell of an interesting song. I don't even know the name or what movie it's from, but how his vocals in there
Hold
are
on.
insane.
You say Tom Jones?
I said Tom Jones, dude. Like, there's
Okay.
no reason anybody
Hey,
needs to listen to Tom Jones's music.
hold on. I think we are talking about this. Yes. Okay. Hey, guess what? Number 7, Thunderball by Tom Jones. I love that one. I
So
love it.
good.
Love it.
I wish I could sing like that for one song in my life. Like, I mean, that last like note he holds for like seems like a minute, dude.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what got me because the whole song rocks, but I think that may be what sold me in the top 10. So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Sure.
I'm actually super glad you mentioned that.
All right, man. Let's get up out of here. We just hit the hour 30. Let's anything else you want to say? We got draft tomorrow. Look I'm not going to load this up tonight. I hope I get this out tomorrow, but if you listen to it day after the draft, sorry. Next week you're going to get all of our analysis on the draft. But any last thing you want to say?
No, I just had a great. This was great. We covered the NFC. We covered Bond, and we talked about some trade ideas. I mean, God, this pod rocks, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I don't mean to be tooting my own horn, but this pod rocks.
Yeah, no, I have so much fun. By the way, we did something I never thought we would do in the last episode, and it was a 2 parts. It was like 2 hours. But do you know in the last podcast we did not say one curse word in the entire pod? I didn't even think that was possible.
I didn't either.
Yeah, well, anyway, we're not on this one. Fuck it. Enjoy the draft, everybody. Cheers.